But I also have questions about
Yes.
your most recent experience. So we've
Mhm.
covered the first three.
Mhm.
Tell us about what you just got back from.
Yes. So this past summer of 2022, I decided to quit my job and go on a sabbatical of sorts to Italy. Biggest choice for Italy was because I had been there multiple times before. I was most comfortable with it. I didn't really know the language, but like I understood the gist.
Well, and you've put effort into
bit.
Italian.
A little bit.
I mean,
some Duolingo. I tried Glossica. And like I've tried speaking to my sister's host mom, Antonella.
Yeah.
Through like Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Via Italian, which actually has helped. Even if it was like me furiously Google translating something, like,
Sure.
there was like part of me that's like, okay, I'm gonna try to guess what the next word is or that sort of thing. But anyways, I digress. I decided to go on a sabbatical to Italy for reasons I just mentioned. Beer burp. And I wanted, when I started looking into it, an ex of mine actually had mentioned woofing a long time ago. And I was like, well, this would be a really affordable way to go because I just quit my job.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be making money.
Right.
I was not about to spend 2 months in a country I couldn't afford.
Right. And what is, for those of us who don't know?
Yes.
What is woofing?
Woofing is spelled WWOOF. And it stands for Worldwide Organization for Organic Farming.
Gotcha.
And TLDR, it's basically you are helping farmers in exchange for food and shelter.
Okay. So you get room and board.
You get room and board.
But you're working your ass off.
Mm-hmm. Generally, the agreement is that you do get like weekends off.
Okay.
Or every other day off. Or you do like half days or something.
Okay. And this is exclusively farming. This is not... It's not like Doctors Without Borders. You're not like showing up and being expected to do like...
It is agriculture.
Yeah.
It's not like, I'm going to take my hoe and like dirt the fields. I don't know what you call it.
Plow?
Dirt the fields. Plow. Yeah. Like it could be anything.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was very traditional farming for the first place.
Okay.
With like the hoe and the dirt and
the
plants. And then the second place, I was basically just a gardener.
Yeah.
For this older woman and her perennials. Yeah, not what I expted, but
okay.
I really
kind of cute nonetheless.
That is adorable.
Yeah, it was very cute. But yes, so WWOOF has websites for every country.
Okay.
There's not one website that rules all.
Oh,
so
interesting.
you have to, if you want to do woofing, you kind of have to pick a location, or sign up for multiple websites.
Okay.
Every site, every country has a different like registration fee.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to be a little financially smart when you're doing that sort of thing.
What are the registration fees like? Are they expensive?
It's like $20 a year.
Okay.
But like if you're applying to 20 different countries,
adds up.
You might want to plan ahead. So I signed up for WWOOF France and WWOOF Italy.
Okay.
Because I had taken French in high school. So it's like, if I'm not going to do Italy, like France would be good because I know some French.
Right.
Spoiler alert, she did not know as much French as she thought. But then at that point, at that point, you basically just look at a giant map.
Yeah.
And you kind of look at all the different farms, and you read the descriptions, you send them a message. Personalized is better.
Okay.
You know, kind of being like, hey, I saw that you're a farm for horses. I love horses. Like, let me join your farm.
Or in Jim's and my case, hey, I hate horses. Please don't pick them.
Or in Yin's case, hey, I love wine. I'd love to help you make wine. Because there are wine orchards.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
Why am I forgetting
this
the name
might have
for
to
wine
happen.
Orchards?
What do you mean might?
You can do it, yeah.
Oh.
Plan ahead, but do it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And, they'll get back to you at whatever pace they want because they're busy farmers. And also something I didn't really realize is that their internet might not be that great.
Oh,
or they might not have internet at all.
Also a thing.
Yeah.
Which was slightly a rude awakening for my first farm.
Oh, wow.
Because I didn't really think, I was like, everybody has internet. But no, they just use data. Like, the amazing thing is like the reception out there was amazing.
Okay.
It was absolutely stellar, but it did not have Wi-Fi. And
so did you have to pay
I did not have a data plan.
Oh no.
So I had to get one real quick.
Yeah. What was that like?
Well, I was like,
because I've had to get data plans in other countries, and I just got to say,
I did a virtual data plan.
Okay.
Which made it easier. But prior to that, I was like, I'm just going to try to tough it out. I'm just going to try not to use too much data.
Yeah.
And I think I had like 5 gigs for the whole month.
Whew.
Blew through that in like the first 2 days. And then I was like, going over, it was like $10 a day. I was like, sorry, Dad, because I'm on the family phone plan. It's like, I'll phone you back, I swear. And then I don't remember, I can look it up after this. I don't remember what data plan I went with, but I just did it for data because I already had an international plan for voice and text.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to go over on that. It was honestly just data because we didn't have Wi-Fi.
Right.
So on my downtime, like if I was going to do stuff on my phone, I would need to have data.
So you didn't get a local SIM card and like do the whole
thing?
Because that's what I've always
I got a virtual like SIM card essentially.
Oh, interesting.
Which is really nice if you have a newer phone. I think it has to be you have to have the phone for like 6 months or more in order to unlock the virtual SIM card.
Oh.
It's some I don't remember the restriction, but it's just like a phone carrier restriction.
So check with the carriers.
Yeah, and they'll just give you a code and you can just manually put it into your phone like on Apple. I just had to open up the settings and enter in a SIM code.
Oh my god.
And it worked. It was great.
Never heard of this.
Yeah, it's a newer thing. I think it's still kind of like coming up, and most people still talk about like physical SIM cards.
Wild.
When I was doing research, well, the reason this happened also is because I'm not an idiot. Like just for full clarification, like I had a feeling I would need a SIM card.
Right.
And I was looking at one of the Italian companies.
Okay.
It seemed to be the best one to like buy online or something. And their website was so glitchy. I could not put an order through. And like I reached out to their support and they never got back to me. Like I tried everything, and I'm also a baby and I didn't feel like talking to someone in an airport. So I was like, I'm just gonna whatever, there will be Wi-Fi, it'll be fine. And there wasn't Wi-Fi. And that's when I had to get the virtual SIM card.
If it's any consolation, Jim and I went to
Ireland.
We went to Ireland in 2017, and then we went to Spain in 2017.
Yeah.
And we both times, well, with the Ireland situation, because we were like, we need to get SIM cards loaded in our phones like the moment we land, because we were going to be driving around, and we needed to make sure we could contact the people we were going to be meeting up with and all the things and get directions.
Yeah.
And so we got SIM cards and then spent the next hour.
Oh yeah,
plus
it was a long ass time setting up those
in the
phones.
airport, just trying to set up our phones because we couldn't get them to. It wasn't just like a plug and play. You had to like there was like a whole magic code you had to enter. What was that?
No. I was simply agreeing. I'm like, no, that took a long time to get set up.
It was so painful.
Add that in when you get to the airport.
Yeah, and Spain was the same. Well, but again, this was 2017. So to your point, like now it's 2023. There's new options, and I know that like we've looked into like international data plans as well that just come with the phone plan that you purchase. And there's we obviously, maybe not so obviously, do business plans because we have a business, and it makes sense for us to do that. Not everyone does that, because not everyone anticipates traveling internationally. But even to Canada and Mexico, it's worthwhile to not have to pay whatever the going rates are.
Yeah. I think my dad got us like on a specific plan so that like we didn't get charged for Canada and Mexico with Verizon.
Okay, yeah.
Verizon's
good with that. T-Mobile's good with that too. Yeah, probably AT&T. I would wager they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so you You decided to woof.
I decided to woof.
You were like, woof it, I'm going to Italy. And you said, I'm going to apply to this farm.
Yes. Okay. So I kind of decided early on that I wanted to be in the Alps because it was going to be cooler in the summer.
True.
Because it's been really hot.
What time of year did you go?
I went from beginning of July to the beginning of September.
Oh, okay. Those would be like
also like wildly different seasons.
Really?
In the Alps.
Really?
I will explain more.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so I decided on the Alps for that reason because it was going to be colder.
Okay.
And I am not a very heat tolerant person.
Right here, Trim Club.
But the big benefit was because I was interested in France as well. Yeah. And I was like, I'd really love to visit France just once. Yeah. I had not even had a layover in France before.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I took French in high school. Like, I should be able to, like, put my feet on French ground or something.
I took Spanish in community college. It's tranquilo.
Yeah. And Switzerland was around there, too. And I was like, maybe I'll take a little trip to Switzerland.
Kind of floating off in the...
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was literally, like, there's, like, a tri-country area. I was in the area. And that's kind of how I got into that, like, language situation with all the different languages. Gotcha. Because, Switzerland, German...
Sure.
Italian. Yeah. French. So I was kind of like zooming in on that area on the map.
Yeah.
And like clicking on things. And the older lady with the perennials I saw first, because it was so close to France. I was like, I gotta go here.
Yeah.
I really gotta go. So I was like, hello, can I please come?
Yeah.
I think I tried to do it in Italian. Which is like, I would recommend like trying to reach out in their language. They do say like what languages they speak on the website. So.
And you recommend that people who do decide to do this go somewhere where they speak the language, not go there as like a language learning?
I would say pick a bilingual place.
Oh, okay.
That does your language and theirs, because if they're trying to give you instructions and you don't understand, you don't want to upset them by misunderstanding.
For sure. And you don't want that on a farm.
Right.
No.
Stressful. Right. Too stressful.
You can lose limbs that way.
You could lose limbs. It's true. So I reached out to her and then I hadn't heard back from her like fast enough. Mm-hmm. So I started looking other places, and the first farm I went to, I reached out to, and it seemed nice enough. So I was like, sure. What of it? And it was also like close enough to the other farm. At some point I decided I wasn't going to do 2 whole months in one farm. I was going to split it up, like one farm 1 month, another farm another month.
Yeah.
So it was good to have them close together, because you don't want to be lugging your luggage all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in that area, like there was public transportation, but like I wasn't sure how reliable it was going to be.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's okay.
You're good.
How reliable it was going to be, or if they were going to like have space for luggage or anything like that. So I was like, the closer the better.
Yeah.
If I have to walk there, so be it. I could not have walked. I couldn't have, but in my mind I was like, if I had to, I could. So I did that, booked my flights after I got those confirmations, because I was like, I don't really want to book flights without any plans. Normally you do it the other way around.
Okay.
Or at least I do, where I book the flights first to make sure that I'm actually going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pick out where I'm going to go.
Right.
But because I had just quit my job,
right,
I wanted to make sure I would actually be able to go somewhere without having to worry about like a flight refund and that sort of thing. And like I had savings and stuff, but I didn't want to waste it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Canceled flight.
Yeah.
So finally heard back from both of them. They were like, yes, let's do it. Great. First farm, Noemi was the woman I spoke with.
Okay. I love that name.
Noemi. Yeah. And she has a 2-year-old daughter named Matilde. The cutest name ever. Matilde.
Ugh.
Like, I'm obsessed. 2-year-old. And her partner, not her husband, partner who she's, started the farm and raised a child with, named Ivan.
Okay.
So I went there first after like a week of touristing in Milan.
Yeah.
And she picked me up in this little car, like, very Italian little car. And like, Matilde was asleep in the back, and we were in like the Aosta Valley.
Yeah.
So we were surrounded by the mountains.
Ugh.
And then like
gorgeous.
We need some pictures.
Oh,
I need to like.
Did I share any like
you did. Hold
mountain
on.
pictures? I
You
hope
did.
So.
Hold please.
I don't want
But keep talking. So
yes.
we'll
Okay. Sorry. And then we got in the car. Also, it was interesting because everyone seemed to drive manual there.
Yes.
Yeah.
We encountered the same thing.
Like, I don't know how they do it, but drove that little manual car up many, many mountains.
Can I just say it's a wild ride.
Yeah. It's
already like when you're like used to driving here in the States, but in Ireland, of course, the driver's seat is on the other side, so you're shifting with your other hand.
Oh my God, no! I'm not doing that. I'm gonna hire a driver if I go to Ireland.
I loved it. Poor Jim didn't get to do it because we could only afford to put one person
I don't
on
know.
the
That's
rental.
poor Jim. I was fine with it. I was very fine. I was like,
I don't know how to drive stick though, so I'd be
it's easier than you think.
But yeah, so we were going up the mountain, and I guess I forgot to mention this, but when I reached out to her, she's like, yes, you can come. Is it okay? And then she said, yes, I can come. And then like a week or so later, she's like, actually, this other girl would like to come. Is it okay if like she stays too and like you're in separate rooms, but you share a bathroom that's in her room? And I was like, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to be a jerk. So then we like, go up the mountains away from the valley, and then we pull into like her father's farm.
Okay.
And he's like a dairy guy, right? So he's got the cows.
Okay.
And it was smelling very cowy, but it was and they had like a lot of their agriculture there actually too.
Okay.
A lot of their fruits and vegetables. And then I met the other girl. Her name was Anka. She's from Russia.
Another great name.
Yeah, it is a really great name. She's from Russia. She is an art student in Rome right now.
Wow.
It's funny because we have very differing opinions on Rome. She hates it because it's too hot and there's no greenery, which like fair. Like I understand that.
No comment.
Yeah.
it is toasty.
It is very
definitely,
hot. It is very hot, and like she's from Russia.
Yeah.
Which is not
that.
It has snow like all the time.
Right.
And then she hopped in the car, and then we left her Noemi's father's farm and drove to like their actual house in this tiny, tiny town called Elaine, which is not an Italian name. It is a French name. They actually, in that region, changed a lot of the streets in the towns from Italian to French in support of the French side.
Oh, wild.
Which was really cool. And like, it's just so obvious how like bicultural it is there because it's French and Italian, and like you see French and Italian everywhere. Like those are the default languages.
That's insane.
And it's like the town size is like 200 people.
Wow.
It's so small.
Oh my God.
And it's beautiful though, because like it's just fields everywhere, but they're not like fields like here.
Yeah.
Not like a Pennsylvania field that's like flat out, or a Kansas field that's like flat out for miles.
Right.
It's like a field on a hill, mountain thing, and then like 50 other fields everywhere around you. Sometimes you don't know what is a field and what isn't.
Right.
Because the grass is really tall as they're preparing to cut it or whatever. And one thing that surprised me is that even though the town was so small and they could have spread out, they actually had like little clusters of houses where it was kind of like a little community. So we were in a house just up a little road from Yvonne's parents.
Okay.
And they were pretty close to like the cousins and stuff. It was like a 2-minute walk, literally. And like, I think in America it's different. Like it's just like, if you're out in the country, I'm definitely basing this a little bit off of my Pennsylvania adventures and just media in general, but like,
Yeah.
if you're out in the country, like the next house could be miles away.
Right.
Mhm.
But they intentionally like made little clusters, and you still had a community, even though you were kind of in the middle of nowhere.
I remember it being like that in Spain too.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that there's places like that in the Midwest here in the States, in my experience, where you have like immediately I thought of Pella, Iowa, which is Pella Windows is where the factory is, but it's an old Dutch settlement, and they have this little tiny, I mean, amongst all of these farms and, you know, massive swaths of land, they just have this tiny little town that exists that's like, you know, everybody knows each other, and they host a Dutch tulip festival every year. It's really beautiful.
That sounds amazing.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's or even like unnamed sort of areas around like Kansas and stuff like that. Like I remember driving through and just being like, oh, okay, so there's like groups of like small, but they are like usually towns. Like they're bigger, I think, in many cases than what you're describing. But
yeah, this was like 5 houses.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, I've seen things like that too in like farm areas. I think we've had that where it's like, you know, the farms kind of go one direction, but they all lead back to the houses in the center of the thing. I'm pulling up my, I apologize if I looked a little distracted. I was pulling up my, I'm still working out this whole setup here. I have to do an entire screen share. Ha! There we go. There, did that work? Are we?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh
Perfect.
yeah, we're seeing it.
Good. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show.
Oh yeah.
Is this what you're talking about when you say the Alps?
This is the extreme of that version, but yes. So if you look to the left,
yes,
you see like kind of those lower mountains that
here.
are grassy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are kind of the mountains I was in.
Oh wow.
Look at this valley down here. This is what I
gorgeous.
love about the Alps. Every valley is like
this is actually a picture
magical.
from the top of not Monte Bianco, but the view to Monte Bianco, or Mont Blanc, as most people know it. That's to the left is Monte Bianco.
Gotcha. Okay.
And yeah, this is actually in the same, like, similar area. I went on a really hard hike that they described as easy. You know, I'm not very fit, so like whatever.
It's different when you live in the mountains too, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some altitude.
Yeah.
Like I literally injured my hip from this trip just from using it so much. Like, but yeah, this is actually like one of the valleys to the left. You'll kind of see the valley there.
Yeah.
That is a much bigger city. That's Courmayeur.
Okay.
Which is on the Italian side.
Okay.
And that is where the older woman with the perennials had her house. Courmayeur is very expensive.
I just have to say, as someone who is a rock hound, I love the Alps because when you look at them, it's kind of like they're like newer mountains. They're so like jagged. They haven't been eroded yet. And I just love those like really
so dramatic.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that is. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fun picture. It's not mountains.
It is not mountains,
but this is actually a picture from the first farm.
Okay.
So probably good to talk about a little bit.
Was this where you did the Jerusalem artichoke or the sunshine?
Oh, that was the second place.
Oh, okay.
That was the second place. I should have sent you that video.
If you haven't, check out Liz's TikTok. She's got some instructionals on how to
make delicious sunchokes.
Oh my God. That, like, I did that. Did I tell you?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Oh my God. Well, first off,
were they good?
I love, yes. Yes. I freaking love sunchokes. Like Jerusalem artichokes is another name for them. And I absolutely adore them because they taste like artichoke, but it's like just eating the heart. So they're just soft and
crispy if you cook it right.
Right.
They get a French fry artichoke. Yeah.
That's
so aggressively, but yeah.
I honestly can't eat them too much because they give me bad gas.
But
I love them so much.
I feel so betrayed because they're so good.
They're so good. Okay, but what is this? What are we looking at here?
Okay.
These are not sunchokes.
So the reason I put these in, I actually made these. This is not an Italian recipe. This is a recipe that my mom found. It's zucchini pancakes.
Oh.
Ooh.
But the reason I wanted to put this in is for a couple reasons. First, it's using zucchini, which there was a lot of because we were on a farm and they were trying to make use of all the leftover produce.
Okay.
The first farm especially was very, very good. Like Noemi and her family were very good at like conserving and not wasting food.
Okay.
And taking everything from harvest that wasn't sold and like repurposing it. So
and this
doing
is
something
this
like
is not a commercial farm. This is like
this is like a mom and pop
got it
farm.
Yeah.
They needed the help of volunteers.
Yeah.
So, they took advantage of every resource saving thing they could. The other reason I wanted to share this picture is because I wanted to talk a little bit about cooking in a different country.
Oh, yes, please.
It's kind of like cooking in someone else's house.
Yeah.
But on hard mode. Because this is a recipe I've made before.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but I've made it before. And I'm relatively comfortable with it. But it was also different altitude. Different measurements. They didn't have, this is an induction stove. I've never used an induction stove before.
Induction stoves.
I did not understand it. They didn't have the same ingredients. I couldn't find feta cheese, but they had something very similar to it.
Oh, wow.
If it weren't for the host, like Mom Noemi knowing a little bit about like, oh, I need like a salty, crumbly cheese. Like, it probably wouldn't have been as good. But it is something to think about. When you're thinking about existing in another country. Especially in someone else's house.
Yeah.
But like they didn't have like teaspoon measurements.
Oh, yeah.
Like they didn't have teaspoon and tablespoon.
They don't use like volumetric measurements.
Like it was just like they gave me a spoon and I eyeballed all the measurements. And that was the same with baking too. Like baking might have been a better picture here.
Okay.
Because baking was really hard.
Oh.
Like this was okay. Like I could make do. I think the funny thing here, or maybe it was the baking, is like they were also using their own eggs. And that day, only one egg was laid.
Oh my God.
And I needed 4 for the recipe. So then
did you wait 4 days for the rest?
Just wait 4 days. So like a lot of like the cooking aspect of this trip was me like Googling substitutions and figuring stuff out. It made me feel really smart when it works. But like it is mentally taxing. Like if you're just like, I just want this thing from home.
Yeah.
Like cheesecake. I made cheesecake when I was there for them because they'd never had it before.
Oh, wow.
And they don't really have cream cheese.
I was going to say it's like
something else.
Neufachel.
Yeah.
Neufachel?
That's
cheese.
German. There is another word for it.
That's what we used to. That's what we used to eat, and it's crumblier than cream cheese. It's not creamy like our cream cheese.
It was creamy. It did taste almost exactly like cream cheese, but like they'd never heard of cheesecake before and like made it, and they're like, "Oh, it's really good, interesting."
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you're going to live or experience another country to like a long amount of time, like you kind of have to get a little creative.
Yeah.
And like it definitely gave me a little bit of adaptability skills in like, oh shit. Like sorry, pardon my
No, it's okay. It's okay.
But you have to like figure out like, okay, I don't have this. What can I have instead?
Hello, kitten.
And this was actually like we made these also because we were doing like a little woof party with like the people in Aosta.
Yeah.
Ended up being like a party of like 10 people.
Oh my God.
Nice.
But the zucchini pancakes went very quickly.
That's great. They look amazing.
Oh yeah, they're so good.
Ooh, okay. This looks
more food. One of my favorite
pine
things.
Nuts. Are those pine nuts? No, those are peanuts.
Those are peanuts and corn.
And corn, yeah.
Like corn bites. I don't know. Corn, like they're
what are those called? The corn nuts. Corn nuts.
Pretty much. But it's just corn. It's cooked as
peanuts and corn nuts. We got this.
But yeah, one thing I loved about Italy, and like it's probably it might be more like an all Italy thing, is the aperitivo. Which if you don't know, you should definitely take advantage of if you ever go to Italy. And essentially there's a time around like 5 or 6 where it's not dinner time yet. It's not dinner till 7, but you're hungry, you're thirsty, and you're cheap. And they're like, okay, you buy a drink, we'll give you a whole tray of snacks.
Ooh.
And that's what I did. This was maybe like €7.
What?
For like the whole thing.
All
Maybe.
right.
It might have been less,
Wow.
honestly. That is an Aperol Spritz. some olives, some peanuts, potato chips, corn, whatever. And like this is like on the skimpy side.
Wow.
Maybe yeah, behind it. Like there were other places where you'd get like a charcuterie board. Ooh. There were like more expensive ones that were like all you can eat.
Wow.
Aperitivo.
Okay.
And like it's definitely helpful if you're like, oh, no restaurants are open and I'm starving, because that's where I was. Like I hadn't adjusted to the meal schedule.
Oh yeah.
Like, I need a drink. I need something to eat. And like, this was the way to do that. I was talking to Antonella, my sister's host mom, who I feel is kind of my host mom too. But she was calling it the little dinner.
Oh, okay.
She's like, yeah, everyone calls it the little dinner because, like, you know, it's not a lot, but it's enough to hold you over until dinner. But I found like a couple times, like I'd just do the aperitivo and go to bed. Like,
nice.
Yeah.
I love this picture.
Oh,
so
that
much.
is a good mountain pic. That is pretty accurate of like how my.
It's really more the cow butt for me.
Yeah, the cow butt. Like she literally got a stick out and was like kind of shepherding them along.
Is that Noemi?
That's Noemi. Yeah.
Noemi. Okay.
Yep.
So she was using a cattle prod.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
and
gosh.
like that was like maybe my first week on a farm.
Wow.
And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like I didn't think this was real.
Yeah.
Kind of thing where it's just like Anka described it really well when we were talking about it one night.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, Noemi and her whole family are very movie-esque. Movie-esque. Because it's like Noemi is like a very sweet, earnest, like romantic person who's just such an optimist and like this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then she has her life partner, Yvonne, who's kind of this quiet but nice guy who's like good with his hands and like has like kind of like a craft skill. Like he weaves reed baskets. And then they have this beautiful little daughter. And then they have the grandmother who's just so welcoming.
Oh my God.
And just takes everybody in and watches the children and feeds everybody. And then the grandfather who's just like the father.
Oh my God.
And he's just like watching the cows. And like, it's like, it sounds like a movie, right?
Really does.
And they're all like within like 2 minutes
now
of
he
each
can
other.
sing that because he knows that movie.
You know, I actually... This is a little bit of a segue, but like that song in particular moved me a lot during this time. And because it really felt like it.
Yeah.
It felt like the hills were alive.
I mean, you're in the Alps.
Yeah. Everything was singing to me. And like there was one time, this is a little personal note, but like I went on like a little mini hike and I got this beautiful view and I just played that song on speaker on my phone and just like absorbed. Oh my God. I cried. Like, it was so like
that's cute though. That's awesome.
It's like a very like humbling experience. And like it just was like I am just part of something so beautiful and like grounding in a way.
Yeah.
And like growing up in Pennsylvania my whole life. Right? Like I didn't realize landscapes could be so moving.
Right.
And like
that is fair. That is, I mean, it's fair even for Pennsylvania. Every time we go to the Poconos or
the Poconos are quite beautiful.
Or through the Blue Ridge Mountains or like we've been through a bunch of different like mountain ranges and areas in the United States and you know, in the Rockies, obviously, but something about the Appalachians, you're just kind of like, okay, this is moving. This is beautiful. I mean, there's neat fog. There's beautiful rolling hills. You see the river's movement through, you know, even if there's no more water there. I'm here for it. I love that.
Yeah. Something about mountain landscapes. It's just really is beautiful in a different sort of way.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. More cow butt.
Yes. I wanted to put this one in because I wanted to tell you a cow story.
Okay, bring.
So I didn't personally tend to the cows.
Okay.
That's not the cow story.
It is tragic though.
But most of the time, like Yvonne's father would be watching after the cows.
Okay.
And, you know, if there was a problem, he would call Noemi, talk it through, whatever. One day we were at Noemi's father's farm, gardening.
Yeah.
Picking produce, pulling weeds. Yeah. We were on our lunch break, and he calls her and just starts spitting rapid Italian. Le mucche, un cavallo. Da, 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 da. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then Noemi hangs up, and she's like, we have to go. The cows have escaped. They went into the river. We have to go get them.
Cat feeder.
Yeah, cat feeder. So we're like, oh shit. Sorry. Let's get in the car. Let's go. And so she's putting this thing into full gear.
Oh my God.
Up the little mountains, and then we get 2 minutes away from the farm, and then he calls her again, and then they're on the phone for a good 5 minutes, and I just keep hearing the caballo, the caballo. I don't remember the right pronoun, but something about a horse.
Oh
right?
My God.
And so we get to where he is, and the cows have all returned. I guess they had a pasture. Yeah, they had a pasture that was an electric fence. It's an electric wire or whatever.
Okay.
Or string. But he assumed that they wouldn't go into the water border. He had one wall that was just the river.
Okay.
And what happened was they were enjoying their time in the pasture, and then a not a wild horse, but a rogue horse came through and was like, hey guys,
oh my God.
You know what would be fun?
Oh no.
If we went in the river and took a little swim. And so the cows were like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's take a little swim. And so he's like, oh my God, they're all swimming in the river. We got to save them. And then the horse dodders off or whatever. And the cows are like, oh, I guess party's over. It's time to go back.
That's amazing.
And so when we get there, the cows are all home, literally. And he's going off about this horse. He's like, this horse tricked those cows into going into the river. And that horse is some other farmer's horse. And what's it doing outside of its pasture? And why is it here? It's eating everybody's grass. Everybody's upset about it.
Oh my God.
This isn't right. That farmer has to put that horse back in the pasture. And I just thought, it's so funny. Just one horse just ruined a farmer's day because it's you know what would be fun right now? We went for a little swim.
Hey guys.
And the best
Let's
part.
go swimming.
Hey, let's take a little dip. And the best part is that the drama continued.
Stop.
Where it was I asked about the horse a couple weeks later, and he's like, that horse, he's been eating everybody's grass, and all the farmers been trying to get the farmer's horse or the horse's farmer to pay them for the grass that the horse is eating.
Oh my God.
That horse is a menace. It made me so happy. So it's this is true farm drama.
Yeah.
You cannot make this up.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It makes me so happy just thinking about it.
Rogue horses, man.
That horse.
Fantastic.
And he had a grainy photo of the horse in the distance. This is the horse.
Oh my God.
Of course.
Of course the horse.
Oh, fucking dying, dude. That horse is an ass.
That horse is an ass.
We're good. We're fine. Oh man. This is not pastoral at all. You were like, these might not be in chronological order, so I have no idea where we are now.
Oh, this is near the end, actually.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I did go order. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
I guess I kind of forced it. That's pretty much it for pictures. But yeah, this is Milan.
Okay.
I don't remember what the building is directly behind us, but that square that we're in is called the City of Woods or the City of Forests or something. No, it's the Vertical Forest, because there's a building around here, or a couple buildings that are all covered in plants, and they're trying to make a more green urban area.
Okay.
That is a big side passion of mine. I love places that do that. Oh, that's great.
I think it's Il Bosco Verticale.
Okay.
I can look it up for you later.
Yeah. Translatively, that sounds right.
The vertical forest.
You could convince me, and I would be right there. There is one other photo.
Oh, is there?
But I skipped because it wasn't mountains. So where is this?
This is actually close to the end. So this is more grounded. Yeah, I don't know why I sent this one first. So
because it's really pretty,
right after the farming, I was like, I'm gonna do another little vacation like in Milan. Take another little time, and Antonella and her husband Sergio and Simone all live in Milan.
Okay.
So I think she kind of took it upon herself to like make sure I was like not lonely, and it was like a little tour guide.
Wait, was that them in that last picture? I didn't even ask who those people were.
Oh yes.
Right. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Antonella.
Wait, it's on the zucchini page. Oh yes. Okay, so
did I go too fast? Sorry.
From left to right, Simone is the youth smiling.
Youth.
He's super tall. That's why he's like there like that. And then next to him is his mom, Antonella.
Okay.
She only speaks Italian.
Oh.
Like, no English at all.
Oh.
Okay. So I had to learn quickly.
Yes. That's fair.
And then Sergio is her husband.
Okay.
Next to her, and that's me.
Hey.
Smiling.
You all look like you could be related to one another.
When you said that, I was like, I actually kind of see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were like very accommodating. That first picture, was a little bit nerdy.
It's cute.
It's cute. It's at Lake Como.
Oh,
and
did you see the Clooney's? I hear they
drove
have a house
by the Clooney
Did you?
mansion. We drove by the Clooney mansion.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I was kidding, but
she was
great.
telling us, as we were driving by, she's like, George Clooney. Like, he lives here. And I was like, oh my God. But like, she was like, oh, like I grew up at Lago di Como. Like, I'd love to show you. And I was like, I'd love to see it through your eyes. Because like you grew up there. And I was like, but I also really want to go to, oh my gosh, I forget the name of this place. There's a scene in Star Wars where Anakin and Padma.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Padma?
Sure.
Anakin
Padme Amidala. That's it.
There it is. Padme.
Thank you.
I know. I was like, that's
Padme
not
Amidala
right, but that
are
is
literally standing very close to where I'm standing and looking out. I was trying to find the spot for so long. I think it's close enough.
Oh, that I know the scene now. Like I remember okay. Yeah. Because this is I did not realize that was Lake Como.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's beautiful.
Oh,
so beautiful. And
it does
like, I gotta get a picture.
Like otherworldly.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a little peninsula in the middle of Lake Como.
Stop sharing. There we go. Okay.
And that was like one of the last trips like they took me on.
Yeah.
And it was so nice because I just like felt so like cared for, even though like it was a place that I didn't really have family. And like it's crazy to think that experience was because I had that experience when I was 15.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like the fact that like Antonella and I grew close even though we didn't really speak each other's language.
Yeah.
And like we still persisted anyways. And like, I was like, I'm gonna learn Italian, I'm gonna figure it out, or I'm just gonna nod my head and say yes and just pretend I understand what's happening. And it was just a really great way to end the trip. And just kind of like because I also saw them at the beginning of the trip.
Okay.
And the difference in the communication between me and Antonella between the beginning and the end of the trip was so different.
Yeah. Because
like I had learned enough Italian in the intertime.
Yeah.
That like she was actually kind of helping me speak it.
Mm-hmm.
Where I would try to express what I was trying to say and where I would be like, please correct my grammar.
Yeah.
And she would correct it. And like, it was just so nice. So nice to have that person and like that ability and like feeling like, oh my gosh, like at the end of this trip, like I really have come really far.
Yeah.
Like I've learned the language. I literally survived 2 months on my own.
Yeah.
And I've come out of it with like a friend in Anka and like family in like this host family I'd kind of lost touch with.
Yeah.
Like from 12 years ago.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And like definitely like trip of a lifetime for me. It's not my only trip of a lifetime, but
right. I love that sentiment a lot. Like having multiple trips of a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know, but the bookend, what a great opportunity. A lot of people don't get that when they have those types of experiences to like have that measurable moment of like, here's a person I, you know, encountered when I first started versus you know, what it was like coming out of that. Yeah. We're going to have to talk more about this. I would love to have, so Greg, who was just on our previous episode, is currently woofing in Germany because this is what he does, as we've learned. He just picks up and takes off for wherever he wants to go. But he speaks German and grew up also in Pennsylvania, but in a rural part of PA where it's Pennsylvania Deutsch, not Pennsylvania Dutch.
I mean,
I was correcting the audience, Liz.
In Pennsylvania, they are called the Dutch, but it's a bastardization of Deutsch.
Yeah, which is hilarious because Dutch is a whole other animal. But no, but yes. So he's out there doing this. I would love to have both of you back on to talk together about your woofing experiences and kind of do a compare and contrast.
Yeah.
And what you might recommend to our viewers and listeners. But I just think that your travel philosophies are so intensely remarkable and beautiful. And the perspective is always fun. You're just one of those people, to your point, you're a creative, you have a creative mindset and you see the world through such an amazing lens. And I wish I could be you sometimes and like have that perspective when I go places, but hearing you tell these stories, just, I love this so much. I can't thank you enough for doing this. And we'll have you back to talk about more of maybe you and Erica can come on together. That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my God. We will not be talking about the Italy trip together.
I can imagine.
Ooh, sibling rivalries.
I love it. Well, thank you. What would you, I always ask everybody, like, do you have something that you would like to pitch or promote in your, job, in your life, in your partnerships and whatever?
Jim, cut this out. Go to booby.fans. No, I'm just kidding. That is a real website that I made. If you go to it right now, it's with a Y. Fans.
Oh boy. Are we gonna get a knock on the door? Now I have
do
to
it. Do it. Don't say anything, but everyone do this. Booby Queen. Oh my God. Yep.
All right. Well played.
Yeah.
That's happening.
I don't know if I have anything to pitch.
Okay. Yet.
Yet. I'm working on like a private thing.
All right. What's your socials? Can people check you out on social media?
Oh God. TikTok. I think, I'm just gonna have to pull it up because I never remember this stuff.
Oh, it's solid when you have to look up your own handle.
I'm just like, oh God. So TikTok, if you want to see the sun choke video,
which you do,
is Lizzie with an IE, not a Y, ___ MAC, Lizzie Mac. And then Instagram is boring. Don't follow me there. Honestly, just go to TikTok. I haven't even posted that much there. But
you said IE?
Yeah.
___ Mac?
Yeah.
On TikTok.
Yeah, on TikTok. And that's where you'll find the sun choke video.
There you go.
There. But yeah, I mean, I guess just like my plug is have fun.
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't have to be in a different country.
Yeah. Fair points.
Period.
Fucking A.
Yeah. I'm all sweaty now.
All right. Yeah, those lights are. Did you boop?
Apparently.
That's funny.
Oopsie.
Boopsie.
Oopsie boopsie. Says the booby queen.
God.
That's some Pennsylvania.
Can't take y'all nowhere.
We can't.
Oh my God.
This is normally where you two just start getting weird. I have to be like, oh, all right.
I got a weird one for y'all. So like RE Pennsylvania Deutsch, my family and I were talking about like where did the origin of hot potato come from? And they were like, what if it was just a bunch of like Pennsylvania Dutch people going "Boop, boop, boop, hot potato and like tossing
Oh my
it to each
God. I could see that though. I can totally see that.
That sounds like a game that that Greg and his family have played.
Right?
Yeah.
Like what else? Are
Maybe
you gonna do
invented.
with your time?
Yeah.
Other than
Invented.
throw a hot potato around.
No, I can see that. I can see that.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, shall we plug ourselves then?
Yes.
And all right.
Plug away.
Go for it.
Mash that subscribe button.
Don't mash it. Be nice to it. Stroke it gently and then give it a nice little press.
I'm gonna have to edit this part out now. Like, thanks.
That's all you got to do. That subscribe.
Gently
And boop,
like and subscribe.
boop that subscribe button.
And go over to our Patreon page, Patreon/TripBee. Oh God, I'm spacing on the TripBee. That's terrible.
I'm
It's
What
the
was I
worst.
just saying about Amber? The worst.
Yeah, I know, right? Sucking at this. Anyhow.
What-
I've
Thank you so much for joining us today on
thank
the
you for
TripBee
joining us
podcast.
today. There we are.
Check us out on TikTok. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to us, please.
Check us out in all the places.
That helps us continue making this content, which you know you love us. You know you love us. Don't even pretend. Don't fake this love that you
Don't
have for
fake
us,
the funk.
Mike. Jennifer, I see you. All right. I don't even know who these people are. Boop the
Mike.
subscribe button with authority. Love us like we love you. I'll join you next time.
Oh, I can't.